Alrighty, good evening, everyone. Welcome to NGS Division C East matchup here tonight. This evening, we have Zul'jin Distillery taking on the Maniacs. And tonight, with me in the co-caster seat, I have Punisher. Punisher, how are you doing, sir? I am excited to get this game rolling. It had a lot of good banter between these two teams when we were setting everything up, and I think both these teams are going to bring some spice. And again, I'm just kind of excited for this. Yeah, absolutely. So we do see some great portrait synergy as we're getting in here. The namesakes, we got the Zul on the one side and we have the Ana on the other side. But before we get into my favorite part of the match here, let's take a look at where we are, where we're heading, and how we got here. So Zul'jin Distillery is the home team. They actually deferred the coin flip, which you don't see very often, but was DeWitt was polite enough to pass that along over to Sir Watson II. Sir Watson, do you think he's actually knighted? I didn't even ask him. If we get to the interview, I will have to ask him if he is a true sir here. But deferred the coin flip, and they actually ended up winning it. So great strategy, but on their point, they opted for map pick. They wanted to take us to Tomb of the Spider Queen, but not before getting rid of Volskaya Foundry and Infernal Shrines, which shocks me a lot. I know that's an NGS popular map is Infernal Shrines, so shocking me there. And then Maniacs went ahead and banned out the Darkenshire and the BOE. And look, again, we are heading to Tomb of the Spider Queen, and kind of like the wave clear map there, I think. Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, you got them spider butts, and you got wave clear. So you can draft two different ways here. You can go the macro, you can go the wave clear style, or the team fight style, right? If your enemy can't turn in when they're dead, and they can't hold on to gems when they're dead. So we'll get to see which one of these two teams and how they draft as we get in here. I'll let them know that we are ready. All right. So when we roll into this, so from like, I guess, just a healer perspective, I mean, do you have a particular hero you like on this map? Because like I said, usually you want the gems on your tank, can safely soak, but prefer vision, maybe with some Tyrande, or just as a healer, man, what do you like here on Tomb of the Spider Queen? Mm-hmm. No, right. So, but with that Lucio, you can see that Diablo getting those quick wall bangs. He's already attached to the wall. Makes it real easy for those stunts. But I do like the Lucio pick on this particular map. Get the quick rotations. Now, let's see if either one of these teams plays the namesake, right? Do we see a Zul from Zul'jin Distillery? Do we see an Ana for Maniacs? But you know what? Sylvanas, get her the heck out of here. I like that particular band. She's really good with the black arrows. Can push with the web weavers and really get a lot of siege damage done with those objectives.
Yeah, absolutely, never a bad play here. But do you think we'll see a ball set here tonight, Dak?
You know what? I know there was a little bit of talk about what was still banned, what was not banned, but Falstad did get the little tweak that he needed, no longer busted, so he is available, and I think he's good, just all around right now. Seeing that buff. Lily is the same thing as well, so we could see a Lily, but here comes the Zul'jin. I'm sorry, the Zul'jin band going to come out here. It seems like a target ban here. I mean, he is pretty good, especially depending on what tank you're looking at. We could see a Garrosh here as well. But yeah, back to your point, Falstad Gust is really good, especially for the boss control. Chromie ban. Let's get her out of here as well. Really strong hero. It's got the slowing sands nerf there a little bit, but still really impressive. Just one of those hard heroes to get a hold to. I'm sorry, get a hold of on the back line. All right, and there is the Hog Boy. Still not going to get any play here so far this evening. Now, I like a Junkrat here, can kind of zone as well. But first pick Stukov. I know one of your favorites, but love to, it doesn't give away too much. He's just a really good support in the current meta. But like I said, Lurking Arm, man, especially if you got low blow at 1, can really just secure the kills. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So depending on what you do go, can go low blow or you can go the ballistas, and ballistas is looking pretty decent with a Diablo. But we're gonna see Zul'jin Distillery gonna go ahead and take Diablo Tychus. Great combo for blowing up one particular individual, and then taking the Tychus actually takes a good counter away from Animaniacs. Okay, so we do see the Mal'Ganis and the Gul'dan. So Gul'dan's going to provide a ton of healing here. And the Mal'Ganis, which you don't see very often, but a good Mal'Ganis with all the CC he does provide is, excuse me, just really hard to deal with. So, to your point, we may see Lucio ban, because Lucio will be able to heal the poison damage coming out from the Gul'dan, and the Boops will be able to kind of push back the Mal'Ganis here as well. Yeah, I like what they have going on. I mean, because Mal'Ganis can initiate with the sleep, follow up with the stun, a ton of damage, and then just the Rukov, silence, and come 13 the root. So yeah, they have the blow up combo of their own here. Third and final ban is going to come out, and it will be that Uther. Yeah, absolutely, but we will see that Brightwing, so we will see the teleport in or the hypershift in. Brightwing can be a very aggressive healer as well, like I said, with the blink heal, and can polymorph. I'm going to be able to polymorph the Mal'Ganis when he comes in, and then just Kael'thas from ankle shot will be able to just clear the waves really well. But here we go. Duke is going to go ahead and grab the Rainer. I like that pickup as well. And then Utaru is going to go ahead and grab that Malthael. Yeah, and the nice thing about Malthael is depending on how you talent, he does have a way of reducing enemy healing. So, I mean, if he is bullying the Diablo has great sustain. So does Leoric, as we see Cowboy Kyle going to go ahead and pick up the Leoric here as well. But the telegraphed Brightwing Hypershift, just a push of a button, you can kind of negate what anyone that Brightwing is going to blink out on. So, starting this match here, let's jump back over to us here in just a second. But do you have a team comp that you like one more than the other? Yeah, absolutely, and it's tough, right? So Zul'jin Distillery has the Wombo combo, the Easy Bake Oven, even with the Kael'thas there as well. So they get the Entomb, they get either the Flame Breath or the Apocalypse, or whatever Kael'thas wants to throw in there. So I'm with you, but both these teams drafted a significant amount of wave clear, and I think it's going to come down to the team fights here. But let's get this started for everyone. Over here on the left-hand side for Zul'jin Distillery, we have DeWitt on the Diablo ankle shot on that Kael'thas led. On Brightwing, Cowboy Kyle on Janitor Leoric, and Be Fresh on the Tychus. And who do we have on the right-hand side? So taking a look at level 1 talents, we see a couple people holding out here a little bit. I expect, okay, I was going to say maybe expect an Exterminator Rainer, but we do have the Ace in the hole. We're going to see Led just go ahead and shoot out some Brightwing Spit there to check that bush. But here we go, just some quick wave clear. Both teams playing a little bit safe. Yep, absolutely. I mean, Mal'Ganis did get caught by that fantastic gravity lapse and just that Tychus blow up there with that, and then just the kind of the lower health pull. But DeWitt is diving in here, going to slow down rotations from the enemy team here, getting a lot of damage coming out onto the enemy team there. But looking at it, 7 stacks already from Peels on that Gul'dan. All right, so we do have a professional Kael'thas in our midst here. Did opt for Mana Addict, not the Convection. So love to see it here. Going to take a peek down here in the offlane. We do have Cowboy Kyle and Yutaro just doing the old offlane thing, getting a soak for the team. So we'll just frequently check out what's going on there. So 3's online, just slightly ahead in the level lead for the side of Zul'jin Distillery, but you know the one kill that they do have, we'll probably put them there as well. But you know, they're making quick work of these waves. To your point with that Kael'thas, really getting a great job done on these rotations here.
Yeah, absolutely. We see Tychus stuck down bottom lane there, you know, the long way down, and now taking camp, you know, on the side of Zul'jin Distillery. So I like that play there. You know, taking through really solid effort on that side of things to help you know, pressure out the Yutaro a little bit.
Yep, absolutely. So not knowing that they are there, so I'm wondering if the calls were there, but it may not matter. We did see Animaniacs go ahead and rotate their bruisers. Both teams sitting right around 35 to 40 gems, so well on their way here. So come level 7, I think is usually where you see most of the turn-ins. But in comes the team. We're going to see DeWitt rotate down here, maybe try to get a pick onto Yutaro, but we will see Sheepus Lion and Duke. But that low blow down will go Cowboy Kyle. Great engage there by the team. Great low blow. And again, Stukov.
No, we love to see it there. Yeah, I think we cut you out there, but that's just always fun to see that out there, the slow silence, pressing that.
Yeah, you know, it's just one of those things that feels great when it's on your team, but like when it happens to you, it's like the most oppressive thing in the absolute world. It's just like, this is busted. How did we let this thing through? So in comes that silence again. Just great position from Sheepus Lion on that Stukov. Just really picking where the team can stand. In comes Sir Watson that does get to sleep onto DeWitt, but in comes the polymorph from Led there to stop any other engage. Out comes a hyper shift to keep DeWitt topped off a little bit. We'll step up here. They do have this bruiser camp still pushing healthy, but with all the wave clear they have here, they make quick work of that camp there. And now turn-in is available on the side of Animaniacs.
We see that one thing we kind of missed there when we're going to get after Leo kills. Lost, I don't think they picked up 12 gems lost by Cowboy Kyle there down the bottom lane on that game.
You are correct there, and I think they were even on the side, so they're too busy trying to get the camp or clear the camp. But taking a peek, the polymorph does come out here. B-Fresh does dash forward to try and get the Gale on the Duke, but he will sneak on out of there. Great penetrating round from the Rainer there. But turn-in now available for Zul'jin Distillery. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that.
Looking at 7's kind of coming online here. We do see Stukov going into the full, lurking arm build. We'll see how that starts benefiting them towards 13 if he goes the extra duration on that or not.
All right, Sir Watson does have that living bomb on him. Will get out of there with his life. So no gank onto him, but we do see Zul'jin Distillery going to rotate up here to the top lane, and that's where they will put most of their pressure of their first spider butt turn-in of the game here. Oh, I'm sorry, it was on red team, not Zul'jin Distillery. That is my fault there.
It's early, Dak. It's all right.
Yeah, but absolutely. But again, either way, most teams do opt to put all the pressure up here in the top lane, which is the boss lane. I myself, I prefer the mid lane. That's where you can get a lot of the vision of the actual turn-in bushes there. Usually when you're taking boss on this particular map, the enemy is dead anyway. But in comes DeWitt, trying to get onto that back line. Out comes the polymorph onto that Gul'dan. The web weaver here is about half health. Be Fresh getting poked down from the Duke here, but getting a wall up here, not too bad on a 5-minute web weaver.
Yeah, absolutely. Bottom lane, we see Cowboy Kyle definitely feeling the pressure with the Malfield there. Looks like, he's kind of waiting to see what happens there, but pretty low on health there. No one did, and Yutaru just, poking down the turret there and kind of get as much extra damage as they can.
All right, absolutely. So we do see the hypershift pings are coming out. They do see the rotation, but out comes the polymorph onto Yutaro, but in comes DeWitt. Cowboy Kyle sitting at half health, and let's see if Yutaro can get out of here. It looks like he is going to get chunked down, but the rest of the team is here. Calls are coming in. DeWitt is chasing underneath the tower. He does get away with 150 health. Nice job. They did finish that camp just in time, and Yutaro will have to back here, but well done from Animaniacs here. Out comes the sun onto DeWitt. Just casual poke coming out here as both teams are down here trying to push with the camp and remove it from the map. But DeWitt getting chunked about half health there. But Cowboy Kyle stepping up with that patented sippy straw. But in comes Sir Watson, not fast enough to get any of those sleeps off. We'll back away with his health there. But quick turn in while we weren't looking is going to be ankle shot there to get the first web weaver of the game for Zul'jin Distillery. Yeah, Mal'Ganis does go down. We do see Gul'dan finishing the quest at 6 minutes into the game. So well done by Peels on Peels there. Just landing those corruptions. Going to be able to just chunk down this web weaver. But we do see the Odin get popped by Be Fresh here. So they are looking to siege bottom as hard as possible. Trying to even up the bot lane here a little bit. Taking a peek here at the mid lane. We do see Yutaro going to go ahead and make quick work. Probably making the calls here that Kael'thas is rotating down here, but Peels on Peels and the Duke making quick work of that web weaver.
Oh, nice. The sun comes out the full combo. He's able to walk away from that nice attempt to engage there.
Yep, absolutely. So here we do see a touch of death. So Yutaro, knowing Malthael really well, is going to be able to negate some of that healing, but unfortunately does go down to that Tychus.
He's pretty low health there. Amongst the really amazing first heal of the polymorph there, specking into it. Looking at that, it's more of a easy way to lock someone down and a nice form of CC there. So well done on the side of the Zul'jin Distillery, and looking for another turn in the cap.
Yep, so they will get that dreaded double back-to-back turn-in. Most teams, strive for, but the camp is up. They did catch that, but not in time. But, if there are no deaths on the side here, but out comes the APOC combo onto Peels on Peels. Out comes the Gravity Labs, and just Gul'dan is removed from the face of the planet there. Out comes the sleep onto 3 members of Zul'jin Distillery. We do see the ult going to get popped, so he will be able to sneak out of there, but needs to be careful. The double stun coming out from Mal'Ganis, but the wallbang coming out from that. But the amazing silence from Sheepish Lion there to protect Sir Watson there, so he can get out with his life. And so far, a 1-for-0 trade, but Gul'dan is back up here and will be able to help make some quick work of these web weavers.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things I think we're noticing is on the side of Animaniacs, just the kind of the forward play leads to your backline are really susceptible to dive hits there. So good job on the side of Zul'jin Distillery to look at that, but another fight brewing down here, Dan.
Yep, absolutely. We do see the Horrify going to come out, try and disengage that, but they do lose their fort there in the mid lane. We do see Sheepish Lion does have to step back. Out comes the sleep, but Mal'Ganis is just living in the thick of things here in the entire team of Zul'jin Distillery.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things where you got someone who's really comfortable with Mal'Ganis. Kind of a really fun playstyle to watch. There was just how disruptive he really can be back there for him.
Absolutely. So 2 forts going down with this back-to-back turn in from Zul'jin Distillery. We do see Animaniacs go ahead and clear top, and then the chase is on. It looks like they were trying to get Yutaro. He will escape there. So like no one Actually, Gul'dan did go down there, but they still have enough gems. Actually, 1.5 turn-ins worth of gems on the side of Animaniacs here. So they'll probably try and push out the lanes here a little bit, so that way they can try and make as much pressure, happen with the turn in here. But Sir Watson is going to go ahead and scout out this, but in comes Led, does have the hyper shift out there. The rest of the team does rotate down here, and likewise, but out comes into him, not going to be able to catch anybody. Nice, but the in comes into what does get the APOC combo out on to Yutaro, and down he will go, but Sir Watson is going to sleep, is going to pop his ultimate there, but he does not count for the channel of the point. Amazing swipe coming out from the Stukov there, and it is no holds barred down here, and they do get this successful invade on the side of Animaniacs there, and that was 4 kills. Diablo is back up, but lost his souls, and that quite a team fight. And you know what? They will have 100 gems here on the side of Animaniacs, so it looks like they will try and maybe get the back turned in themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, again, cool down there. I think we're seeing Brightwing kind of add a little disadvantage there with all the damage coming out. You can't feel through that with Brightwing. So good job on nice patience on field left field. The rest of the team were kind of accepting the 1 death, and then nice turnaround there to be able to take the objective. So well done.
Yeah, absolutely. And, just keeping their heads up. Now 15s, even the kill count out, both teams sitting at 5. We do see Yutaro up here in the top lane, going to go ahead and already proxy this lane to get it pushing forward. So they will look to take a fort here. But we do have the camp going to get taken by the side of Zul'jin Distillery to kind of counter push there. But the polymorph does come out onto Sir Watson, who is fishing around for that sleep and that sun. Going to go ahead and break down that sidewall. Webweaver is dropped, but out comes the Phoenix. Odin does get popped. So let's see, Yutaro is looking to fish up here on the backline, but needs to be careful not to dive underneath that tower. Duke taking a chunk of damage coming out here, and this Webweaver is just getting melted here. So gonna cut their losses, don't stick around too long. So not able to get the fort there, but Webweaver had to walk here in the mid, had to bully that camp. But those little guys here do all of the structure damage, not the big one. The big one just kind of helps clear the wave. So out comes the swipe, down goes that mid wall. Hyperion does get popped here. Try to get some extra siege damage out onto this fort. Big Webweaver is down. The rest of Zul'jin Distillery shows up here to clear this. Nice defense here on the side of Zul'jin Distillery. But 69 gems, nice, in the pocket of Animaniacs here, looking for their second turn in. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, great sleep. DeWitt does dive in, does get that perfect wall bang onto him. The polymorph to follow that up, does get that fear off, but that is a ton of gems. But they do have enough there. But in comes the boss attempt now from the side of Zul'jin Distillery. What a turn of events there. Both teams now have 16s online, no front line available. So boss for turn-in, I think they have. They can't pushing. I don't think they want to hold on to this if they can, but DeWitt is coming down, just trying to try and make a presence here, maybe scare them back off a little bit and maybe not lose this mid fort. But there goes boss, going to have to start rumbling down that lane. Now they don't have a front line here, so they do need to be careful. Great swipe, only did clip DeWitt there, but unfortunately Sleepish Lion does get caught out standing still for that ult. Yutaro does get dove on again, but DeWitt just sitting at 800 health. I thought it was a great play by Stukov there to clear the rest of the team. They just let Diablo jump in there, and he just happened to live. But that is a 2-for-0 trade. They still have boss pushing up here in the top lane. Sir Watson is up here trying to do as much as he can, but in comes Gul'dan to help finish this thing off. I don't think they'll lose much on their keep, but the Diablo combo does come out. That, oh my goodness, that's just the CC coming out from the side of Zul'jin Distillery. It's just really oppressive. Yep, so they're not out of it yet. I mean, like I said, they did lose their keep there, but mid is just taking a peek here at the wave. Mid is clashing here. They do have the bottom fort, so they can look at keeps in the bottom and the middle lane there to open up a win condition for themselves. We do see Sheepish Lion and Yutaro rotating down here, just taking a quick peep at this camp. But I like this call here. Bottom is pushed out in their favor. They do catch them on the wave there, so they will just kind of peel back. But if they need to fight, now is the time before Zul'jin Distillery looks to get 20 before they do. But
We'll see that camp go there. We see breaking off, maybe looking at the camp on the side of Golden Distillery there. But yeah, I would like to see a little bit of the top lane even out, right? Because right now we have two Cannibal coming in with every wave, which after a little bit of travel time, it starts to add up and it starts to get your core pretty quickly there.
Yep, absolutely. So both teams know where the others are at. We do see a full team back here coming out from the side of Maniacs. Now, the nice thing is being pushed out, in on Tomb of the Spider Queen, you have the advantage of having the spider butts be on your side of the map. So it's kind of advantageous there, because you kind of have to step up out of position here if you're the team structurally ahead in this game. But again, they have that camp pushing there in the mid lane that will be marching on to a keep, but they're going to turn their attention here to this bottom fort and then just maybe look at one of the final two keeps on the side of Animaniacs. But I like this call coming out here from Animaniacs. You're like, you know what? We'll trade you fort for fort. We will rip this thing pretty quickly and sneak on out. But pushing out that bot lane, we do see turn-in on the side of Zul'jin Distillery here. So top is pushed out pretty well. So we will most likely see Animaniacs rotate down here in the mid to deal with this Web Weaver and this Bruiser camp.
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, they got two trading forts isn't the worst thing in the world, forts isn't the worst thing in the world there, but Golden Distillery looking to push their advantage bottom here. 20's about to be online here right now, so huge advantage for Golden. I wouldn't be upset if they look at this, maybe steam back up mid or siege up and really force goodbye, looking at a potential keep here.
All right, and out comes that Silence Entomb out onto that Gul'dan. The swipe does come out, but the APOC does secure the kill out onto that Gul'dan. Sir Watson is trying to live in the backline, but does get poked down. Is going to be able to just use blind as a bat to get out of there, but Cowboy Kyle is chasing him down. Down goes DeWitt there, and all of that will trade in his souls for that. The rest of the team, we do see Odin going to get popped. Looking at this keep, Sheepish Lion is a little low here in the backline, and Yutaro is stepping up to trying to bully out the rest of this team. This Web Weaver is about quarter health, and this thing will go down with the keep, but down goes Yutaro. Does he have the respawn? No, he did not click that in time there to come back, so he does have that full 60. But in comes the ultimate from Sir Watson here, but he will need to be careful. Out comes a polymorph stun out on to Sheepish Line there, but the upgraded ult there by Mal'Ganis does put the entire backline asleep there. So Sheepish Line looking to get out of here. Great peel by Sir Watson, but we do have Web Weavers pushing in the top and the mid. The shield is already down onto this core, and the core is falling rapidly, 70%. When two more dead, out comes the Entomb, but not going to be able to catch anybody in there. Out comes the Silence from Sheepish Line, but it's not going to be enough, and that will be GG's and game one going over to Zul'jin Distillery. It's tough. I mean, it was kind of one of those situations where did they really need to fight there, halfway to 20? Most likely. I mean, I think it's just one of those objectives where, it spawns wherever the wave is. So, they had a camp sitting in mid. They had the full squad of Zul'jin Distillery sitting on the bottom. So I think they know that both of their keeps are gone. But just, they put in a fight there. So taking a look here at the stats, what stands out to you here?
Honestly, a lot of this seems fairly stable build-wise here. Scoutbot's looking really good. Looking for a lot of the splash damage there from the flight strike. But yeah, no, I like, I really think everyone kind of played a standard build here. So nothing surprising from my side. Jax, what about you?
So taking a look back at the stats here, I mean, just a tremendous amount of healing coming out from Brightwing. Six figures there, 102,000. But even Stukov, 60,000. That's a lot of healing coming out from both those teams. But looking at the hero damage, both those healers had to pump out the healing that they did. I mean, Gul'dan was 70,000 damage, finishing corruption stacks at 6 minutes into that game. But Kael'thas only 45 hero damage. So it's just the picks that I think Zul'jin Distillery was getting. And that's exactly right. They had all of the CC. They just weren't living. And I think that was kind of the problem because, first picking Stukov, you don't have that cleanse. So, Diablo Stun, Kael'thas, Gravity Lapse, the Polymorph from Brightwing, just anyone that they chose and got the stun on, unfortunately just kind of lived for about 2 seconds, and then that was about it. Yep, absolutely. So, coming up into game 2 here, we are waiting to hear from the teams. Do we see any respect bands coming out there? I don't really expect to see either probably Brightwing or Diablo come out there, but anything on the side of Maniacs? I mean, Gul'dan did a ton of work there.
No, I think it's right. Unfortunately, at least for me, it's kind of map dependent, right? I think, depending on where they go and where we're at next. I don't think Stukov got all the value I was hoping for with their team composition here.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if we necessarily see, for me, any respect man, but maybe Diablo, on the side of the Zul'jin Distillery that gets manned out here. But I don't draft decks. What do you think is going to go on with that as far as any?
So it's tough to say because I don't think we saw too many target bans here in game number 1, but I'm expecting maybe now that the ball is in Maniacs, I feel like they like to play maybe more of the macro style games. So maybe that's where we go, right? Because we want to see Zul'jin Distillery wants to probably do the blow up, wants to do the pick comps, win those team fights, and just make quick work of the enemy team. So maybe we see Maniacs picking a particular map to spread out. Zul'jin Distillery. Do we go to Alterac Pass? Do we go to Cursed Hollow? Do they play Vikings? Do we see that sort of just large macro style game? We can go to Towers of Doom even. Let the double soakers do their thing. But again, that probably plays into the hands of Zul'jin Distillery.
Yeah, I think so. So it felt like the one play right there, mid lose all the gyms was probably the really big break point. I think in this game. So had we not done that, I think maybe we probably are talking a different longer game for sure for the side of the Animaniacs there. I think they had something they were trying to do. They just you fall down talents and gyms, and it's really hard to kind of play your game, right?
Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure. Again, I don't know too much about Animaniacs, but like just the Mal'Ganis pick. I mean, there's other tanks available. Whether they just particularly like Mal'Ganis, I just don't think he's in a particularly good spot. They did touch his health. They gave him a little bit of extra health, but he bars kind of a resemblance to like Illidan, where like you can't give him too much damage because like a lot of his damage is tied to his healing, and then same thing with the health pool because I think it's percent based healing that he does get for himself. So a little tough there, but I expect them to bounce back. I don't think it was. I think that game was a lot closer than maybe the scoreboard predicted, because it was very back and forth as well. So I just want to see what Maniacs does here to bounce back and just where they are mentally, right? How the captain keeps the team together, right? Because we all play a competitive game. I mean, it's we're all competitive. That's why we're here. We do play it for fun, but we're not in comms, right? So these teams could be just not talking to each other. I mean, I think we've all been on that particular side of the coin. But yeah, like it's just. If they enjoy it and they're having fun, then they just come out and maybe smack Zul'jin Distillery in the mouth and take us to a game 3.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. That's tough. Like, and I think it's just one of those. Like, Johanna just feels like one of those heroes, like kind of in the same boat as maybe like a Jaina or a Raynor. Like, it's tough, right? They're boring. They're not like the hotness. They're very sufficient and they're good at what they do. And just to a lot of people, I think that's kind of boring.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm always one to enjoy a good falling from Johanna. But yeah, no, 100% of your point, right? Yeah, you know, it's hard. You're good at really something, but outside of that,
Absolutely. All right, just seeing what is going on here. But reaching out to these teams. But yeah, it's so just taking a look here again while we're waiting. We'll just take a look here at the maps again. So Zul'jin Distillery. I mean, even Infernal Shrine, banning Infernal Shrines and Volskaya. I mean, those are two very good team fighting style maps. So did take those out of the pool here. And then at the same time, Maniacs went ahead and banned Darkenshire and BOE. So let's go ahead and tell them. Oops. Just expediting the conversation here between the two. But you know what? So it looks like, let's see. So the map will end up going over to the side of Zul'jin Distillery. So we have Animaniacs opting for first pick. So we will see where Zul'jin Distillery wants to take us. So what is left here? Just taking a quick peek here. I mean, we could see good team fighting style map. Brax's Holdout is still available. Towers of Doom is. I'll just leave. I'll just end stream if we're gonna go to Braxis. But no, I kid. All right, so there we go. I'm gonna update that. Lobby is up and available. There we go. So it looks like we are gonna go over to the go over to Cursed Hollow, picked by Zul'jin Distillery here. So jump back to us. So excited. So Cursed Hollow. What do you enjoy on this particular map? What do you like to see? What do you like to draft?
Yeah, I mean, you know me, right? This is a macro-heavy map, right? So lanes are pressure there, and just really that point out Soki. So I would personally, you know what? I would be upset with TLV maybe a amateur composition here. You know, for either team, really good at controlling the lane. Falstad or you Globalism, right? So Falstad, a Haka, you know, even good old Nita herself, or himself,
Mm-hmm.
You know, really give you a lot of impression to really soak in the deal, just you know, be right in wherever you're at, to make a you know, potential swing on a team fight there. So I think we either see Q Global fan down here, you know, quote unquote shocker Falstad.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit overtuned at the moment here. But yeah, I think we start seeing a little bit more of a global presence here from you know either one of the teams.
Yeah, absolutely. I love me some Abathur Illidan. Illidan is fantastic on this particular map. Really spreads the teams out. You could see the double bruiser. Since most teams want to go the 1-3-1, I think boss control is really important on this particular map. I think you see a lot of games either won or loss. You know, in that throw pit that is the double boss on this particular map. So the Falstad, we could see these teams putting some priority into that Falstad. I mean, we had our own battles with a Gust Falstad on this map specifically yesterday. So it's that all it's there too, but you still trying to take the risk, and you end up just dropping the ball there. So I will let the teams know. All right, so it looks like both teams are ready. Probably had some bathroom breaks, some smoke breaks, whatever you do in your own free time. None of my business. I'm just here to watch some NGS action. Love casting HOTS here. So, but yeah, here we go. We are going to get into the draft. So I think we see a Diablo ban. This is a good Diablo map, especially if they want to go any sort of cheese. So, and I don't even say I say cheese lightly, but look, like you said, whether it's the Abathur Illidan, Abathur Samuro, Vikings, we could see target bans onto the globals, but. Just a really solid Diablo map here that I don't expect for him to make it through the draft. But at the same time, they don't have to ban it if they play it. So we could see Sir Watson just looking to take the Diablo away from Zul'jin Distillery.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things where again, we say it's a macro map, but last pretty narrow corridors. Diablo needs to see both looking at wall allowed.
All right, so there is that Sylvanas ban. Gonna get out of here, so that must be a targeted ban, I believe, onto Ankle Shot. But you know what? She kind of has the curse of this particular map outside of the 1 health minions, right? Black arrows can shut down structures and get a lot of siege damage done. So first ban coming out here is going to be Zul'jin again. Don't want to see it. Get it out of here.
Absolutely. So, setting up potential here, DPK looking with that Diablo sounded pretty good again here.
Yeah, so far bans are holding true from what they did in game number 1. Let's see if we see that Chromie ban, but again, they have first pick this go around. Actually, they had first pick last time, so we might see that Chromie ban. Yep, another great stalling mage in this particular map. Could see a Li Ming can do the same thing. Not necessarily known for her wave clear, but you can draft wave clear. A lot of the Brewsters have wave clear, so she can just be, and then or she can just stall the objective for days and then get those resets in those team fights and just, you kind of, that's nightmare fuel is that reset sound. And if you've ever been on the opposing side of a good Li Ming. Mm-hmm. All right, so you know what? They felt confident enough. They like Stukov. Stukov, again, can stall the objective with a quick, not a pustule. I forget what the actual double, I call it a booger, but whatever the W is, the slowing thing that Stukov throws out. Nope. But there you go. You did call that false stat, and we will see Cowboy Kyle going to go ahead and lock in that Diva. Great zoning, zone control, and boss control from both those heroes. So I like those two pickups from the side of Zul'jin Distillery. So Diablo is still available, so we could see Sir Watson go ahead and grab that. Maybe a global of their own, but nope, we're going to see the Duke 11 is going to opt for May this time, and Yutaru is going to go on that Vala, and I like the way this looks, and I think we might see a double support coming out from the side of Maniacs here. Yeah, absolutely. So noting that the Duke did swap, so it was Sir Watson on the tank last game. Maybe he is the Abathur player on this team, but Mouthfeel ban is going to come out here. So what does Zul'jin Distillery have up their sleeves? Potential Deathwing, perhaps? We will see. So let's see if we get that double support. They did ban Uther in game 1, so let's see if they want to opt for that. They can also Rhaegar as well with the Vala, give her some Bloodlust. Yeah, let's see if Led sniffs it out. I know he plays a very good Deckard. Can go Emerald to reduce any of that healing, but he's going to actually just opt for the Uther. So really like this team comp coming out from the side of Zul'jin Distillery. I love a good Uther pick. So DeWitt is holding. I wouldn't mind an ETC with this comp here, but again, Diablo is still up and available. So last two picks coming out here. Potentially a mage and another healer, or Dahaka is still on the board for that global presence. Ripper Hots in the chat. Go Zul'jin Distillery. Looks like some XGD fans coming out here. So there is that Deathwing. Main tank Deathwing, perhaps? I don't know. We'll most likely see that in the off lane. But here we go. Tyrael. Yeah, so it's really tough. So like Tyrael is a tank. You know what he lacks in CC, he provides in more of like a more so of a supporting tank role with the shielding, the movement speed, the attack speed. So giving attack speed to Falstad, Hanzo, and Diva could be really detrimental. But I like the Deathwing pick up into the Uther. And the Falstad, right? So even if it is a gust, like he's just going to be able to just kind of laugh at any disengage coming out from the side of Zul'jin Distillery. So I'm really excited to get into both of or game number 2 here. So as we get started here on the left-hand side for Zul'jin Distillery, we have DeWitt. Let me switch scenes there. DeWitt on that Tyrael, Cowboy Kyle on the Diva, Ankle Shot on the Falstad, Led on that Uther, and Bfresh on the Hanzo. And who do we have on the right-hand side? That's right. So we do see Maniacs going to go ahead and rotate to lanes already. They are going to safely just position here in right by their wall, not trying to get picked out here. As you know, we will start showing up in wave. At least Deathwing in the top. We'll probably see Ankle Shot go ahead and just try and pressure Deathwing there a little bit. Maybe not. Nope, looks like Cowboy Kyle will start heading there. We do see Falstad going to go ahead and fly down, just try and get some poke damage out onto that Gul'dan. But, you know, Sir Watson needs to be careful here. In comes DeWitt. They are just going to try and bully out Deathwing here a little bit.
Definitely, you know, I like the split here. I think Gul'dan Falstad, right now it's a fairly evenly matched. Right, Gul'dan put up some damage, Falstad can get on it, but you know, right now I think a little bit Gul'dan has a little bit of the advantage there in that bottom lane presence. And then the Diva and Deathwing, you know, I'm not an off lane guy. How do you feel about that macro favors either one of them, or just it's all.
All right, so taking a look here. So we did see Molten Blood going to come out here. So he is able to heal for a maximum % of his health as long as he is up above the armor plates. I'm not sure what stance he is particularly standing in. Looks like he is in the melee build. So in the melee build, I think Diva will be able to play that one a little bit better just because she will be able to outmaneuver his auto attacks. But we will see when that trades out, because I think she can start bullying him a little bit come level 4 with some specific talents. Yeah, absolutely. So I like that call. So we do see DeWitt down here, and the wave clear and the camp clear. So Hanzo did opt for explosive arrows, so has the wave clear on the queue now. Falstad is okay as well, but again, we do see Maniacs going to go and start pushing here in the mid lane a little bit, trying to get some damage done with their camp, but we do clear that up pretty quickly as the Bruiser camp is pushing their own here in the mid lane, and Giants are still making headway. So they're going to rotate the Falstad down. He probably has fly up as well as DeWitt makes that long rotation up to the top from bottom to top lane. It's about 11 seconds, fully mounted, undisrupted as well. So let's see here. Night in the chat. Hello, calling for Zul'jin Distillery here. So just thanks for everybody for being here, rooting for both of these teams. So, and there we go. Sir Watson just going to go ahead and stall for days here with the Deathwing. Cowboy Kyle is going to stand there, just kind of like a gnat, just really going to be annoying on that D.Va into that Deathwing. And we do see the rotate down onto Ankle Shot, going to go ahead and stall that slow. So they're going to opt for the kill. We're going to let Deathwing just kind of stall this out as much as possible, not letting fall set up, but unfortunately not able to do it. DeWitt getting awfully low there, sub 300 health, but will escape with his life. But Seven's online. The soak advantage right now in favor of Animaniacs. Yeah, absolutely. So wall and quarter of the health here. We do see DeWitt going to go ahead and try and jump in on Gul'dan here. Gul'dan still opting for what I think is the optimal Gul'dan build. No suck talents, please here, Peels. But 5 stacks, right? So not too much clumping on this particular one, but pings are going to come out. I like this rotation down here to kind of stall this. We do see Tyrael going to go ahead and rotate on to the channel. You know, maybe they just keep trading. They have a lot of siege damage down here with the Gul'dan, and Deathwing is up in the air. They do need vision to on it. They do have it. He did take Skyfall, so we'll be able to delay for a little bit here. But again, they're just looking to take a fort here. Mm-hmm. Right, absolutely. So they will trade a fort for this particular boss. I like this call from Zul'jin Distillery. They're going to go ahead and get this boss marching in the lane while pressuring the third objective to shut off whatever structure the bosses are going to go pick up here. So, you know, with the objective showing where it is going to be next, we could see the opt for the double boss play here. We do see Cowboy Kyle scouting out the enemy boss. Does have bomb up and available. Sir Watson is at full health, but Cowboy Kyle needs to be careful not to lose the mech here if the team is going to rotate, and it looks like that is what they're going to do. In comes Sir Watson, but 10s are online now for the side of Animaniacs here, and I'm not sure. Okay, so they're just going to opt to clear this. I think they can walk away from this one. They need to rotate for at least out for the objective. All right, so out comes the fear. We do see the boss going to go ahead and pushing up in the top lane. So we do need to see Animaniacs just need to go ahead and just kind of cap this if at all possible. But the poke is real coming out from the side of Zul'jin Distillery. Utaro finds himself low in the back. Out comes the silence and the stop. We do see the cleanse coming out onto Tyrael, but it's not going to be enough. Out comes the ice wall out onto that Falstad, going to disengage that. Sir Watson finds himself a little bit low, but staying put here to be a force in the backline. Led finds himself low. The dive is on now onto Cowboy Kyle. Does not have the D.Va Mech Explosion. Out comes the Hanzo Arrow, who does connect, but no follow-up is available. Down goes the Falstad now, and the channel goes over to the side of Animaniacs, but all for nothing. They did lose the fort up in the top, so structure-wise, now even, fort for fort. Kind of like the shortcut versus the the long way around. I guess potentially both teams being hyper aggressive in their strategies, whether you're pushing or just the standard double boss play with two caps. But taking a nope, go right ahead. Sorry.
Sorry, no, they actually
Yeah, and I think the objective points couldn't have fared better on the side of Zul'jin Distillery, right? Because it was like the one was down by their boss, and the one immediately following it was next to any Maniacs boss on that side. So definitely lucked out with the position of those tributes. But here we go. Next tribute is up in 5 seconds, and we do have a pause here. So maybe someone phone call, doorbell, a little bit of lag. 1 sec. Internet's dying. Well, you know what? Unfortunately, that happens. We know that all too well. So jumping back to us here while we fix the internet. So 11 to 12 in terms of level, 3 kills to none so far on the side of Animaniacs here. So both teams missing forts. Objective is up here as soon as we come up here. I mean, it's, 2 tributes on the side of Zul'jin Distillery, 1 on the side of Animaniacs. So I think we're in for quite a barn burner here. Like I said, both these teams have a decent amount of poke. I like the poke available coming out from the side of Zul'jin Distillery a little bit better. We do have Tyrael opting for the Sanctification. All right, jumping back in the game, we're going to get that countdown here. But just for ultimates, on the side of Zul'jin Distillery, we have the Sanctification, we have the missiles from the Diva, we have the Hanzo Arrow, we have the Gust, and we actually have Divine Storm from the Uther just to be able to lock some people down here. So you'll love to see it.
Yeah, no, good, really good plays here. I think they were looking for combo. Just kind of wonder if that ball said maybe at the time might get with stuff that they're going to lock on them.
But speaking of stuns, Peels on Peels does get stunned, but not before disengaging with that Horrify, but it's not going to be enough, and Hanzo gets the kill here. So Sir Watson does go ahead and start that Q channel, just doing an immense amount of damage, is going to get burnt to a crisp himself there in that bush. So 2 kills in favor to 2 to 0 there in favor of Zul'jin Distillery. Yep, absolutely. So Peels on Peels is back. Horrify is down for another 30 seconds, so no real disengage. So we just see them clearing this wave pretty quickly. But the camp is pushing up in the top lane. That needs to be addressed on the side of Animaniacs as it does start marching towards that keep wall. We do see Deathwing, but in comes Utaru trying to delay that capture of that vision point here. So this one might be for all the marbles here, as either team can get a decent lead structure-wise here with 1 tribute.
Yeah, absolutely. I looked at Deathwing did a little bit of work there, but kind of did leave the Giants in a bit of a spot, missed some XP top, and I think we're going to see this push in pretty well up top here for a minute.
Yep, so they do have Deathwing can stall at least 3 times with that that Skyfall, but they're going to go ahead and cap the Giants. Out comes the Sanctification. Yeah, absolutely. And then just Deathwing is getting chunked down. All that poke damage. Utaru finds himself low as well. The chase is on. The blinds do come out, but it's not enough. And that is a 2-for-0 trade as we see Zul'jin Distillery marching towards a keep here. We do see the Duke dive in. Ankle shot is staying stuck. Out comes the Gust onto Sleeper's Line. Is going to get caught here. Nice Gust from Ankle shot there. And then down goes Stukov as well. And just Zul'jin Distillery, really taking a commanding lead here. No kills at the point of that pause, but 13's online now, and they are looking to take over the rest of this game. I like this call here, going for the keep before the fort.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They're behind it. They're right there. Let the fort do its thing, but still breaking this. This does, if I'm correct, right, this will still bring in 3 or a catapult per wave at this point, right?
Yep, absolutely. So in comes the Hanzo Arrow, is going to catch 3 members of Animaniacs. Out comes the Diva Bomb to potentially get that kill, or just a quick disengage. But bosses are back up. We do see some structure pressure coming out here onto this fort. So all 3 forts are down on the side of Animaniacs and Zul'jin Distillery. It looks like they're going to try and make for a double boss play here. 16's not online for either team. So we do see Zul'jin Distillery starting and finishing the boss here as we see everybody else rotating up here into the top lane. So Sanctification is going to be back up. And we do have Holy Ground, so I'm expecting quite a boss invade here. But they're going to slow down here and just go ahead and clear the mid. So I think they know that they're there, and they're just going to be patient.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a bit slow. Everyone's pretty low on the side of at least Falstead and Uther were a bit low on health and mana there, so nice back. But again, boss definitely favors the Zul'jin Distillery there, pushing bottom pretty heavily. You got to commit 3 or 4 people to kind of keep that bottom alive there.
Yep, absolutely. So they do have to commit everybody. We will see the Bruiser going to go ahead and get invaded by the side of Zul'jin Distillery. So just doing a great job keeping up with the macro pressure. But the bosses favor the bold here. But we do see Be Fresh and Ankle Shot make quick work of that boss up there in the top lane. Lost a half of wall, unfortunately, on the side of Maniacs there with their own. And we do see another pause. We lost Sir Watson. Another internet delay coming out. I don't know if there's any storms. It's been nice here up in the Northeast for the past 2 days. We've seen like 65, and I think it was close to 70 today. So, ready for the countdown. So he must be back. Okay, no problem. Jumping back. So here's our lovely faces, everyone. 16's now online for Zul'jin Distillery. But, no channels for them. So we can see Maniacs kind of slow play this one a little bit. They have to themselves. They can kind of catch back up on Soak. 16's now online for them. We do see Deathwing land back down, so he won't be able to fly for another 20 seconds or so. So he will have to walk his thick booty over this objective. But again, they may just forego this one and catch Soak and push lanes out a little bit. So, you know what? Taking the first fort of the game, they lost 3 of their own almost in succession, but in comes the Duke, does eat that Uther stuns. Out comes the Cataclysm from the Deathwing, just immediately going to go ahead and start channeling that Q. We do see the Holy Ground get popped from DeWitt to cancel any rotation in there. Out comes just the stun and the zoning potential from the Deathwing here. All right, so we do see DeWitt go ahead and try and cancel that with that Holy Ground, and in comes Cowboy Kyle. Out comes the Hanzo Air connecting onto 2 members. Out comes the Fear, but it's not quick enough. They lose Lutaro in the backline. Out comes the Maywall, catching 3 members in there, but out comes that Sun. Out comes the Sanctification. Down goes Cowboy Kyle into that Silence. I like that counter into that Diva, but out comes the Storm from Led there to disengage the rest of the team, and we do have a 1-for-0 trade. Sir Watson finds himself in a weird situation there, unfortunately not able to escape. So down goes Deathwing as well. That is now 2 kills in favor of none there by the side of Maniacs there. So Cowboy Kyle is going to go ahead and start channeling that objective. Should go over to the side of Zul'jin Distillery, and just all this pressure, the structure pressures. We have that camp pushing here in the mid. We have the Siege Giants up in the top lane. So just looking at 2 really low keeps here on the side of Maniacs. Yeah, absolutely. So taking a look here, we do see Sir Watson going to go ahead and just make quick work of the Siege Giants. But in comes the team. They are looking just to poke that down as much as possible. Could see some material action. Just a click, like you said, a quick Q over the wall and back. Yep, absolutely. So pings are coming out. We do see this boss is coming up in a minute and 15 seconds. So no boss plays here. 20 is not quite online. So this is a team fight that they need to take on the side of Maniacs. Deathwing is up in the air. The triple blind does come out. So great scouting. Out comes the Fear. Try to separate the team. It does happen. In comes DeWitt with the Holy Ground separating the Duke. Unfortunately, out comes the Gust to lock her in onto that. Out comes the APOC. I'm sorry, not APOC, but out comes the Hanzo Era. Out comes the Ice Wall to disengage the teams. We do see the Flailing Swipe. Duke does icing their way out, but it. In comes Sir Watson trying to get some picks here, if at all possible. Out comes the fear, separating 3 members of Zul'jin Distillery. May does die in the backline from that Hanzo chasing down. We do see the ninja over the wall, but that sanctification to cancel that hungering arrow from Vala, just saving Hanzo's life there. Well done by DeWitt there.
So much zoning, and a lot of it is a little bit of a misplay on the ults coming out here. Felt like there's no real good coordination at the moment on the side of the Maniacs here.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it was just kind of poor May kind of got caught, literally just got gusted in the wall and got caught out and, was able to icing away, but just the chase from the Hanzo there did a great job here. 20 is now online. We do have 3 members dead, and we do see Zul'jin Distillery start their descent onto this core. Sheepish Line is going to eat that Utherstun, but all members are looking at putting this core down, but that Stukov silence is going to take down 2 members. Stukov's auto attack is dangerous, taking down 2 members himself. B-Fresh is awfully low. Out comes the Gust to disengage this. Out comes the Fear. Cowboy Kyle finds himself a little bit low. The core's at 15%. Ankle Shot is here. Lead is here. Cowboy Kyle. Out comes the Ice Wall, and it's not going to be enough in game 2 and the series going over to Zul'jin Distillery. Yeah, absolutely, and it started out a bit strange for them. They lost. We saw the strategy coming out from Maniacs with just a hard push bot lane, give the first 2 objectives, and structure wise it worked for them. But then they just kind of found themselves kind of chasing what, just what Zul'jin Distillery was doing. They were able to grab the camps at the correct times and just force Maniacs to stay where they were, and the only global they had was the Deathwing, and that's kind of even a slower global in terms of a global there. But as we take a look at some of the stats here, anything standing out to you, Punisher?
Everything here, the Soak definitely went on the side of Coldan, really kind of leading the team in experience contribution here. But as far as that fan itself, not horribly away. Considering game 1 where, Soldier was able to build really quick and then just kind of move on and continue on with playing the map here. So I think that really was the story of the second match as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me just jump over here, see if we could get a interview real quick. All the excitement I have cap socks on. But yeah, to your point, I mean, it was really close. I mean, just looking in terms of hero damage, we have the Hanzo with 33, Deathwing, getting the extra hero damage out from himself at 39k, healing 58 to 49. Both teams just evenly matched, but just we saw 2 different strategies there. From both these teams, we saw like the slow poke style coming out from Zul'jin Distillery, and I don't want to see again a cheese comp coming out from the style of Animaniacs, but normally you see that with some different style heroes. Maybe that's Sylvanas able to shut that stuff down, but yeah, both these teams came out to play tonight and definitely put on a good show. Oh. All right, so it looks like we will have an interview here. So just taking a quick look here at the talents. But yeah, the Tyrael surprises me. I love some Tyrael. They got that holy roller combo with the Uther and the Tyrael, but love to see it. And just the great poke coming out there from the rest of the team. Deathwing went standard Q build. Low blow at 1. May, standard stuff here across the board from both these teams. But hopefully we get to see these 2 square off again, maybe in the finals. Or not the finals, but playoffs. But anything else coming out from the talents here before we jump on to that interview?
I don't think so. Vala definitely going in kind of the multi-shot build here. Something kind of surprising there on that. But no, I think that they tried to main adapt Tyrael with his ult. Negates a lot of that stuff. And again, I think the play that stands out to you is Tyrael banking on that first objective. Really strong and well done.
Yep. All right. Absolutely. So we will meet. Looks like DeWitt and B-Fresh in lobby 3, and I'll see you there, Punisher.
Sounds good.
All right. Jumping in on over here to lobby 3, waiting on Punisher. Probably didn't have the. There he is. But hey, congratulations. We have B Fresh and DeWitt here, lads. Congratulations on the 2-0 victory. How are we feeling? All right. So, Punisher, did you have any questions about game one, or do you want to kick us off with any questions?
I guess to really ask, with Diablo, I mean, you guys, it felt like you really took Diablo to school there, and really had some good, like wall banks. Was that something you kind of working hard on, or is that just, the way that you like Diablo, wall press the button?
Oh, we've done Diablo for so many seasons now. We're just like hyper aggressive team. Sometimes we're really good, sometimes not so much. So Diablo's pretty natural.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to that point, I mean, they first picked Stukov there in game one. Now, it was like, because you guys had a ton of CC. You had the Brightwing, you had the Kael'thas. I mean, was it like, this healer doesn't have a cleanse, let's just, run this, pick style comp? Because I know, like I said, I know you do play a fantastic Diablo, but it just, like, anyone you decided to pick on that particular team just didn't live longer than, 2 or 3 seconds.
I mean, a lot of it was, in the end, a lot of our threat was in Tomb.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. We picked up Brightwing so we could kind of ruin the Mal'Ganis's day,
Mm-hmm.
because he just struggles with her.
Mm-hmm.
And so we kind of had pressure on the front line and the back line, I felt like. So we didn't really have... They really had to be much more scared of us than we did of them. All we really had to look out for was the big Horrify.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think kind of that turning point, though, was like when you guys were able to catch Mal'Ganis up in there. I don't know what he was doing up in the top lane, but, you did a great job canceling that back by him and then just catching him out of position.
Yeah, if he had been in that top left bush, I wouldn't have seen him. But since he happened to be in that middle, and it just... I was going for those two, and I managed to snip the corner of his hitbox, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Any other questions about game number one, Punisher?
No, I don't think so. I think it was a well-played game. Obviously, you guys came out on top.
All right. So game number two, heading to Cursed Hollow. I mean, you guys did so well on Tomb of the Spider Queen. You guys opted for map pick in game number one, but really flexing your stuff, showing off your draft abilities as well as your macro skills. I was expecting maybe another team fight style map from you guys. I mean, do you have a preference, or does the map not really matter to you guys?
Say we tend to prefer the fight style maps.
Mm-hmm.
The last couple seasons, been trying to focus as well on the bigger maps. And I think we've been getting a lot better at those as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it showed here. I love the last pick of the Tyrael there. If we can touch base back on that there. But coming into that, first picking the Falstad. Were you expecting anything different coming out from them there in that draft? I mean, bans were similar from both teams rolling out into game number two.
I didn't really expect the May because they haven't played. The player that has been playing May wasn't in today for them.
Mm-hmm.
We thought about banning it because it is kind of annoying when you're running like a bit of a point control like we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
She can kind of screw with that, but they got Deathwing also does, and I feel
Mm-hmm.
like until the Tyrael, they kind of countered our point control style.
Mm-hmm.
But May and Deathwing, neither of them can get around holy ground.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the rub for, I guess, boss control.
Yeah. Excuse me. Absolutely. And we even saw that to your point, Deathwing did just die. There was a handful of times where like he even landed to try and help or stall, and he just kind of got absolutely melted. And then just hitting that amazing sanctification there to get the to cancel the starfall there to seal the deal with that channel was well done. Like, were you guys going in knowing you wanted to pick Tyrael, or was it just like, oh, Deathwing was picked up here, just Tyrell's going to be so good?
It was option number one.
Okay.
But Deathwing, yeah, I kind of struggled with him because he can actually CC Deathwing
Mm-hmm.
with Holy Ground, which is, it's like him and Leo and maybe Sonya, Thrall at 20. Like, not that many people can stop Deathwing
Mm-hmm.
doing whatever he wants to.
Yeah, good point. Absolutely. Punisher, any other questions from these lads before we let them go to celebrate their victory?
Yeah, I think it was definitely we were going for the early curse
Okay, yeah.
fight early on.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely showed. I mean, you guys, they did take that bottom fort pretty quickly. You guys had 2 channels in your back pocket, but then, the macro kind of kicked off for you guys, and then you took 3 unanswered forts, and then just kind of snowballed from there. But no, I mean, just all around GG's, congratulations to you guys. But before we let you go, any shout outs from you guys?
You got anything?
Yeah. Thanks for the cast. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
The Maniacs.
Yeah, and I'll shout out Nutcracker, our 6th player, Ripper, and Shredded Wind, who have helped us out with the strats,
Okay.
as well as our fan, Dana, single fan. And shout out to you guys for casting us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. A couple fans there in the chat for you guys calling for some XGD there. But no, love to see it. You guys put on a good show for everybody. But no, the strats were working from Shredded there. So yeah, definitely understand that props there. But we will let you lads go ahead and celebrate with your team, and hope to follow you and cast some more of your games.
Appreciate it.
Yep. See you, lads.
Bye.
All right, so we'll go ahead and give Punisher a call back for our typical goodbyes here. All right, get that pop out. And jumping back over. All right, Punisher, we finished yet another cast from us here. I am on the summary. I'm in. Boom, there we go. My bad, everybody. So showing our beautiful faces here. REG Banana in the chat. I'm guessing you are the fan that they were talking about. Love to see it here. But Punisher, good sir. Thanks for being here with me tonight. I know, like you said, you don't normally pimp any sort of socials for yourself. But yeah, the floor is yours, sir. No, absolutely, and both of these teams, played their heart and soul out there, and unfortunately, one of the teams have to lose. We don't get any ties here in NGS, but the Maniacs showed promise, especially versus a team that's been playing together for so long in Zul'jin Distillery. But no, like I said, they're a new team this season, and I think they played well, and hoping more out of them. You are the fan. All right. Well, glad to meet you. Thanks for being here. But we are going to send everybody over to NGS. Looks like they have a game rolling on there. But again, I'm Dax_Hots. I play Heroes of the Storm. I cast Heroes of the Storm. You can find me right here on my channel, as well as Dax_Hots on Twitter is the best place to find me there as well. But no, so we will send you over to NGS. But thanks again for everybody being here tonight, and we'll see you next time.